Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today is another special episode because we are here with the amazing author, Katie Van Brunt.
We're so excited to have you here. Katie Van Brunt is an Amazon best-selling author and also one of our favorite authors.
Yes.
And we're super, super excited to have you here. So if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Introduce myself? I don't know. Okay. I'm a romantic comedy author and scriptwriter, and I'm currently living in Hawaii, but moving to North Carolina. I will probably be in North Carolina, maybe when this airs. Maybe?
How exciting. We're basically going to be neighbors.
That's so exciting.
I know. But anyways, we're going to get started and we're going to just, ask you a couple of questions. So for the listeners who are new to your books, how would you describe your stories in one sentence?
I'd say they're like beach reads, romantic comedy. They're equal parts like banter, plot, spice, just really like I wanted to write books that I could read by the pool and the beach because that's my favorite thing to do. And so then my books are a reflection of that.
I love that. Who doesn't love a good beach read? And I will say these are very amazing books to do so, but also like I've read the audios for books 1 and 2 for the show and for the plot. Let me tell you. Good thing I was listening to those in the comfort of my own home. This space says it all. And when those scenes got spicy, my jaw was on the floor. Literally.
Yeah, you do not want your Bluetooth to disconnect in public.
No,
Definitely
you
not.
don't.
No, you don't.
I did fall off the treadmill listening to for the show. That was not a good book to read in public, especially in the gym.
Girl, I will tell you that I was like, there was at one time that I was like, I think it was for the show as well. I was cooking and I literally at one point, like I was holding the spoon because I was like stirring the pot and I dropped it and sauce went everywhere. And my son was like, Mom, you made a mess. And I was like, that's not the only mess that was happening. He was like, are you going to clean this up? I was like, I'll get to it eventually.
That's the best compliment.
Oh my God, yes. But all the emotions about your books, always good ones though.
I know.
Amazing. But what kind of reader do you think connects more with your writing?
It's readers who want that balance of like realistic and relatability, but also like escapism. I mean, I'm reading and writing for entertainment, but also there are thought-provoking moments, not like these, going to study in like a college class or anything like that. But yeah, just like escapism, there's good mental health representation. So there's relatability with that. And yeah, there you go.
Beautiful.
I agree. So I do also want to ask you, because I know that you are a mom and you're an amazing writer. So I want to ask you, like, what does a typical day look like for you as an author?
Just staying above water right now. I mean, so I'm going through this transcontinental moving from Hawaii to North Carolina, like I said. And so the movers are actually coming in just a few days. And so like things are getting like packed up. And so there's not a lot of writing happening right now.
Of course.
Yeah. But a typical day, there's lots of languishing, lots of just like, it's hard for me to start. Like I have ADHD and perimenopause, and there's just like lots of brain fog in the morning. So I'm just like walking around aimlessly. Like I know I need to sit down and start writing, but like it's like my brain will not come online yet.
Yeah.
And then once I get going, but it really takes a while to get there. And then this is what's really awful is that when it really comes online and I'm starting and I'm writing and I'm in it, then my kids get home from school and I'm like,
yes. And then you're like, second shift is starting.
Yeah. So it's really hard.
It's so hard. I call when like I don't have like diagnosed like ADD. I've self-diagnosed myself at this point as like a mom. because I feel like a space cadet that I'm just like starting something and then it's just like bing, 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 bing. And so I tell Laura all the time that my brain gets sparkly. And so when she's trying to like talk to me about something, I'm like, my brain is sparkly right now. You need to come back in like 5 to 7 minutes when like I've readjusted because too many things are happening at the same time. It's hard. Like
For
right now, I
sure.
literally just heard my son come home from school and I'm just like, oh, second shift is starting.
Oh my God. How
It's
do you
just,
even balance though? Like, how do
It's
you balance
hard.
everything?
Yeah, it's really hard. Like I I don't know. I'm just like I support of other authors who are moms with kids that are similar age. Like my really good author friend Hannah Brixton, like her kids are the same age as mine and we're just constantly voice memoing back and forth. We feel like we're living parallel lives. And so it
yeah.
really helps to have somebody who understands and is in it with you. Having a spouse who does a lot is super helpful too. Like my husband does all of like the grocery shopping and cooking, which is so amazing.
Yes.
And although he's been away for the last couple of nights, so I I put in a Costco order to have it delivered to our house because Costco is like an hour away. And he wrote back, he was like, "Good girl." I was like, "Yes." I'm like, "Yes,
I'm on
I
wow.
did the grocery shopping for once and I got rewarded with a good girl."
You should put that in your
What a
next book.
dream.
Please put that in
Yeah.
your next book.
But it's really helpful that you have someone that is so supportive and takes those things like, off your
100%.
plate and yeah, because we've got kids and their sports after school
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just I don't know, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Trying to take my own advice of like I can do hard things. I wrote
Yeah.
that into for the show and I'm like I've done hard things before. I can do it again. Yeah, again, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But I agree. Definitely having like a mommy support system
Yeah.
is key. Or even just a support system like in general of like friends that like understand like what you're going through. Sometimes like you just need to be like venting, be like, oh, being a mom is hard. It's very rewarding, but it's hard, especially like when you have a career and like you're trying to keep it all together. So props to you for being an amazing author
Thanks.
and an amazing mom and wife because all 3 titles, obviously.
Yeah, thank you. It's like even just small venting things like I'll just text Hannah and I'll be like, I was in the middle of this like really important scene and my kid comes over and is just like, want to see my Lego set? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
buddy. And like there are times where I'm definitely really in it, like working, and I will say to them, like, I have to get the scene done.
Yeah.
And like where I'm sitting right now, like you can see my bookshelf behind me. This is like the dining room slash office. And then like right on the other side is the kitchen and the main living space.
Yeah.
When we move to this new house, I will have a designated office with like doors that I can close, which will be so amazing.
Yes.
But right now it's like we don't have that space and it's just out in the open. And so I'm like, no, you can't watch TV right now because I'm using this space. And
Of
but
course.
yeah, I'll be texting Hannah and I'm just like screaming in text message form. And she's like, I get it. I like same thing happens to me.
I have a
My
question, mom to mom.
goodness.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you ever go and hide in your closet? I do.
Yes. So
I do.
I wouldn't say my closet's a very welcoming space. Yeah, I'll just anywhere that I can go,
Or like
I
the
will hide.
pantry, like somewhere that has a
Yeah, but
door.
my kids are older now. And
Yeah.
so, like, my youngest is 9, and then I have an almost 12-year-old and a 15-year-old. And so,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's easier now in some ways because I can have like a conversation with them of like, no, I'm working on this thing. You need to go find something
Yeah.
else to do right now.
Yeah. At least like they're self-sufficient at this age that they're like, you can get the snacks,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I can't be mad at the mess that they make if I'm like I'm in it. They have not bothered me, but then when I shift over, I'm like, oh my god, there's so many wrappers on them, and I'm like,
Exactly.
I can't be mad. They left me alone. I can't be mad.
And it's like you come back and you're like, how much did you eat?
Mhm.
I'm always astonished. I'm like, how little tiny bodies eat so much, but I will always be surprised. But I do want to ask, like, what does your writing schedule like realistically look like? Are you just like trying to like fit it in, or like do you block yourself out like a designated time to write?
Yeah, so it's a lot of it is fitted in when possible. And this was actually something I had to really just like mentally overcome because for a long time I was so rigid in thinking that if I did not have at least 1 to 2 hours to sit down and write, then I couldn't get anything done. And I had read a book a long, long time ago, a nonfiction book by, I think, Emily P. Freeman. I don't even remember what it's called. But she talks about like writing like in the cracks. And so it's like those little moments where you get like, if you're sitting at your kid's soccer practice and you're like sitting in the car, you could be like, writing on your phone, which I'm not very good at writing on my phone, but I will take my laptop and like sit in the car and be like typing on my laptop. I just, for the longest time, I would say years actually, I was fighting that, thinking, no, if I don't have an hour or two of uninterrupted time, like I'm not going to get anything done. But one day I was just like, this isn't working for me. Like I'm literally
Yeah.
not getting anything done because I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity. And I realized that's actually not going to happen. I mean, sometimes it
Yeah.
does, yes, but not every day. So I started just like, okay, I've got 30 minutes. Like, if I only get 5 sentences on the page, that's five more than I had 5 minutes ago, So I do fit it in when I can. But when I'm on a deadline, like, it has to be a schedule. I have to fit everybody else around my writing schedule, which is really
Of course.
hard for a family of five to be
Yeah.
like all of a sudden kind of change things up. And yeah, so in the beginning, I will try and fit my writing into the kids' schedules. Obviously, there's certain things that appointments I have to work around with my own writing. But then when I get down to a deadline, everybody sort of has to work around me and we're eating off paper plates. My
Yeah.
husband's taking care of the carpooling stuff. I'm staying up later, and communication's really important in that regard, especially to the kids too, because it's like, hey, I know you're used to it being this certain way, but for a few weeks it's going to look a little different. And sometimes it goes smoothly, sometimes it doesn't. And we have
Of
to
course.
readjust. But yeah, it's chaos, but I learned to like lean into that instead of fighting it so much.
Which is great because like at least like you've adapted to it and like so has the family, which is hard. I can only imagine how hard it is to like juggle 3 kids and your husband, which I'm sure he has a demanding job too.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you guys all like band together is just so sweet. So like you
Yeah.
can put out like these amazing books that are just they're so good.
Beautiful.
I know. I don't recommend them enough. I'm like, please go read this. Thank you so much.
Oh my
Thank you.
God. What would you say would be the hardest part of like juggling everything, like between like motherhood, being a wife, and like writing?
Yeah, just the scheduling of stuff, like I said. And let's see, like expectation management is tricky. Just really having that communication with people. Self-discipline for myself personally is really, really difficult. And I have a hard time saying yes to myself and like choosing myself and like this time to write and saying no to other things. And especially like my husband, he'll say, I'll take the kids out of the house. We'll go do this thing. And I'm like, but I want to go do the thing with you too, and
FOMO.
he's
Yeah.
being so sweet, like, getting them out of the house. He's like, well, we're not going to just be bored waiting for you
Of
to finish
course.
writing. And I was like, but I want to go on the adventure also.
I can't even I
That's
can
cute.
imagine that it's like you have like the FOMO, but you're like, I gotta get this done, but I also want to go with you guys. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's hard to sort of force that creativity too, because
Yeah.
my husband will say, well, I'll give you, I'll take the kids out of the house for like 4 to 6 hours, right? And you think, oh my God, I'm going to get so much writing done. But then
Hmm.
just like the creative stars are not really aligning in that moment. And I'm just like, I can't force myself to do it. I mean, I can try. And sometimes, yeah, things start spilling out eventually, but it's no guarantee that I'm going to get a lot of writing done in that amount of time.
No, of course. I can just imagine that you're probably like super buckled down, like ready to get this done, and then it's like crickets. I think like that would happen to me. That would like you're like yes, like how it sometimes it happens in the movies. It's like I have my tea, I have my other beverages, the computer's set up, and then all of a sudden you're like, what happens now?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Oh
But
my
I
God.
do want to ask you, like, is there like a specific moment where you felt like really like proud of yourself for like being able to manage like both roles?
Yeah, I think I see it more in like after the fact, like after publishing. It's really hard to notice those moments when I'm in the trenches, in the thick of it. But
Yeah.
overhearing my daughter tell her grandma, my mom, who's not really all that supportive of me writing spicy romance, like I have her blocked on
Really?
Instagram because she was not very very kind to me about things that I was marketing and promoting. And so to hear my daughter say, Mom's been working really hard on her books. And I'm just like, ugh, you see it.
Mm,
She sees how hard I'm working, and even
yeah.
my 9-year-old son, and he's so excited and he has all of my stickers, like the safe for work stickers on his water bottle and like
I love
especially
that.
like I have little stickers of my book, like the book cover, and he puts them on his water bottle. And like just knowing that
That's
my
so
kids
sweet.
are proud of me really
Yeah.
is validating.
And that's all
My
that you
goodness.
need, you know, because like your kids are proud of you, your husband is proud of you. And I can only imagine like it does have to be hard, like for like your family member to like not support what you do. I can't even imagine that. But you know what? You keep doing you because like I will say this that like
Thanks.
your books bring people happiness. And I can't
Yeah.
even tell you the amount of times that I have like laughed like while reading these books and you just feel so good because it's like the characters that you've brought to life are amazing. Like I feel like I want to like
Thank
check in
you.
on them for some time. Like, I'm gonna go hang out
We
with
say
like
this all the time. All the
I want to
time.
be at Daisy Lake now, like lounging in a hammock,
Yeah.
just hanging out with my friends. You know what I mean?
uh, yeah, they
What
do
did you,
feel real. They feel like real
they
people. Like, what
feel
are they
really
doing? What
real.
are they up
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay.
Don't cry, queen. Not now.
Okay. Do your kids, family, or friends ever influence your stories or like any specific characters?
I mean, I think there's like a little bit of all of us sort of morphed into it. I think that, like, especially writing a 5-year-old this time with Asher's daughter, B, in For the Win, like, yeah, the conversations that she has, it's like, straight out of what my kids have said or would have said, something similar. And like their attention span at that age and like the cute things that they would say and yeah, definitely influenced by that. I think that the books too are just like the mental health representation is a lot of my own experience. And I think that's why feedback I get is like that the mental health rep is so good. And I'm like, yeah,
Mm.
it should be because it's straight from my brain of like things that I've really honestly gone through, and like
Yeah.
little bits and pieces, like, like Ezra's depression and Joey's anxiety and like and Asher's grief, like all of these are definitely pulled from my own lived experience.
And you do it so well. Like,
Thank
girl,
you.
Agreed.
there's not enough props
100%.
in the world to give you because, like, I have no
That
words.
means a
Like, you
lot
just do
because
it
you
so
never know
well.
how it's going to land. Like, I'm like,
No,
I
it
see
Yeah.
it in my
landed
head. I write it
very
down on the
well.
page. Thank you.
All of them. And, like, I've read For the Win so many times already. But, like, every single time, I'm just like, you're just great. You just need a crown at this point.
Mm,
Agreed.
You
A
that's
hundred
just
sweet of
percent.
you.
beautiful. Just no words. Okay. I'm okay. I'm fine.
What advice would you give to other moms who want to write but don't know where to start?
Oh gosh. Okay. This is an interesting question and like one that I still grapple with because I am actually envious of other authors that I see that are writing when their children are infants, toddlers, like those really young kind of baby stages because I couldn't do it. Like when my daughter, who's going to be 16 this year, which is just wild, when she was an infant, I was hospitalized for postpartum depression and anxiety and suicidal ideation. And so sh- I I was literally fighting for my life and just trying to take care of my basic needs and an infant daughter and my husband who was in medical school at the time.
Yeah.
And there was no writing happening and on so much medication and so much therapy for a long time. And then eventually had another kid. And so I have like two kids under the age of 3.
Oof.
And
Yeah.
I was writing like for myself, like mommy blogging and stuff from time to time, but sort of writing things behind the scenes, but nothing like I am now. And it wasn't really until all 3 of my kids were in school full time and we were living in Greece and there really wasn't anything else for me to do. And so I was like, okay, I think now is the time that I could write. But I tried before then. I just like fits and starts of like trying to write something and then COVID happened and then I was homeschooling and then we moved, to Europe. And so I see these other authors that are moms of young kids. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? I don't think I could have done it. And I have found through talking with other people, like, there are just some people who can do it and some people who can't at that time. And it looks different for everybody. And so I've tried to like really let go of that feeling of it's almost a little bit of feeling of failure. Like I failed at that time. And that's not really what that is, those are the lies that I'm telling myself. And so I think just trying to get to your answer, like the advice I would give is like have somebody who can really help you out. And
Yeah.
any little bit of writing is making progress. And if there is a time where like your kid is not sleeping, like it's okay to put that manuscript away for a little bit and spend that time with your kid. And you don't feel like you have to be doing it. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's just this give and take. And you aren't able to do both at the exact same time. And that's okay. It will happen eventually. And I wish I would have known that before. Like it is going to happen eventually. It's just going to look different for me.
Yeah, kind of like have like a message from like future self and be like, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna get through this. It's gonna take a little bit, but you'll eventually get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love this. No, I think the most important part is just like taking care of yourself first and like your mental health
Yes.
and like your family and everything. And like things come when they have to come at the end. But I'm glad you just put in the time and that you created this amazing book,
I
Sandra.
can't
Thank
wait to see
you.
what's next.
But let's talk about For the Win.
Such a good book.
How would you say, yes,
I
what
can't.
would you say would be the vibe of this book for the people who haven't read it yet?
I've been sort of marketing it as dirty dancing vibes and mustache rides because I love a good little rhyme there, a little catchphrase. But yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely like it takes place, on like a family summer camp. So it is very reminiscent of dirty dancing and that type of vibe.
I love that.
I
That's
loved it.
so fun.
Honestly, this makes me want to frequent watching Dirty Dancing again because like I finished the book today actually. And yeah, so it's like very fresh in my brain. And there was just like so many like it's not like a huge spoiler, but I'm like the lake scene like after she's like on
Mm.
the hammock and I was just like imagine like the dirty dancing of when he like lifts her in the water. And I was just like, man, all I gotta say is that this book, like I said, I finished it today, so I'm unwell. And I'm like, and I'm actually reeling it in because like, I don't want you to be like, this girl's too much, but like
Girl,
literally
No, I love it. I love this little visceral reaction of like, yeah, right after you've read the book.
no, it's just like your writing is just something that is like so special. And like the fact that not only you gave me one texting chain, but you gave me two, girl. Girl, I literally am obsessed with texting chains.
yeah,
But
she
yes,
is.
I
anytime there's a
love
text,
writing them. I think if I could write a whole book of just text messages, I would. But they are a pain in
yes,
the ass to format.
I can imagine. especially with like the little texting bubbles. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
you guys do it, but like it's so elite. But I do want to ask, like, is there something specific that inspired this story?
Well, my dad grew up going to the Catskills, which is like where Dirty Dancing takes
Yes.
place, in upstate New York. And so his family grew up going vacationing there. And then when we were living in Greece, we went to this like all inclusive family resort on like the border of Italy
Mm-hmm.
and it was so much fun. Like the kids had their own things to do. They couldn't leave the property. There was like an adults only spa. Like we had all of our meals together, but it was basically like the kids went out, they did their things. We actually went during when it was winter, so it was snowing. But they did their things, and sometimes we would see them, sometimes we wouldn't. And then, so that part of it inspired to have like this family summer camp versus just a summer camp for kids. Cause I kind of really
Yeah.
went back and forth of what it should be. Yeah. That's how it's inspired.
It makes me want to go to summer camp, and I hated summer camp, but this summer camp
Yeah, me
sounds
too.
fun. Literally.
You hated summer camp?
Okay, let me paint this picture for you. This summer camp wasn't by a lake, like it was in the middle of like I grew up in Miami, Florida. Like this wasn't like it was like a vast property. It was called, no shade to it, the summer camp wasn't bad. It was just wasn't my vibe. It was called the Big Five. And then the thing is that my friends were in an age category like a year above me, and so then like I like at that point in my life didn't like making friends with people because like now I can talk to a wall, but like at that point like 10-year-old Carmen just like didn't want to be there, and I was so mad at my mom for sending me to this summer camp. Like I just wanted to stay at home and watch MTV all day.
Yeah.
But like, you know, maybe if she would have sent me to like sleepaway camp, like a Parent Trap type thing, it would have been better. But that
Wait,
summer
is that
camp,
Narcam? Like
yeah,
sleepaway?
yeah,
Is not
like
that the same thing?
no, I didn't go to sleepaway camp. I went to like day camp that is like from 9 to
Yeah. I've
5.
done
Like,
both.
yeah. But you see, Daisy Lake summer camp, that sounds like
That
my
sounds
idea.
good.
That sounds good. Yeah. Like yoga class, art class, like I'm there. Sign me up. Honestly, sign me up.
Oh my god. But talking about the story, is there like any like life experience that you put like in the book from yourself?
Yeah, so a few things. Well, I mean, obviously, this is in the trigger warnings in the beginning of the book, but like the Claire goes through like sexual harassment. I mean, I think so many people, so many women, unfortunately, can relate to that, myself included. And while my experience wasn't like the exact same as hers, because it didn't happen like in medical
Yeah.
school, like it did for her. But yeah, I mean, I wrote like my feelings about that into her
Yeah.
character. I actually had somebody message me yesterday saying that when they were in med school, that conversation, what happened with Claire and the other man, she was like, that like does happen. She's like, I don't know how many times I was like propositioned for sex, like in medical school. And I was like,
What?
Dude.
oh my gosh,
That's
And
crazy.
so, yeah, I was like, okay, well, that was a little bit more real than I actually intended for it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with Asher's grief, he loses his wife and like that's all in the past, like off page. But I've lost my dad, so I've have that grief, that feeling of like losing someone that's really important to you and how grief can show up unexpectedly,
Mhm.
how even Asher, like how he kind of schedules his grief to like once a year. He's like, I only cry once a year. That's it. Like the other times he has to be like really strong or for his daughter, or so he thinks. And yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, I'll start feeling sad and I'm like, nope, don't have time for this right now. Like, I'm going to feel sad about this like tomorrow at 2 p.m. I will like
Yeah.
revisit my grief. And you sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can
Doesn't,
kind of
yeah.
compartmentalize it for a little bit. And other times it will just come out and you have no control over it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think those are some of the things that I definitely were pulled from my own life experiences.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to say I'm so sorry for your loss. Losing a
Oh, thank you.
parent is a different level. Like, because even like losing like any other type of family member, but I feel it's like when you lose a parent, like I too lost my dad 8 years ago, and like I feel like everyone's always like, oh, with time it gets easier. It doesn't, because grief is not linear. That thing wants to
Mhm.
smack you in the face, literally, like without warning. Like tomorrow is Friday at like 3 p.m. Like, let's give you like a roller coaster from the grief. Like grief is just gonna hit you in the face and it stinks. But
Yeah.
I will take a page out of your book and be like, not today, Satan, and we're just gonna talk, move this to a day that we can.
Yeah, I think it works like very like acutely. Like it's a very like temporary, band-aid of like if you keep doing that and doing that and doing that and doing that, it's gonna like blow up in your face. But if at the moment you're just like, no, 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 I have an appointment right now, I can't be crying, or like I've got to do this thing for my kid, I can't go there right now. It's like, okay, but then I have to make the time to be able to like let that come out. Otherwise, it's just going to bottle up and explode and be really bad for everybody.
100%. I do want to ask, like, without any spoilers, what can readers expect emotionally? I know, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah. So, I mean, just basically what we're already talking about with Asher and his grief, I think that, well, I had somebody say that um, they really like that I didn't actually go into detail about the way in which Asher's wife died, but you can still
Piece it
guess, like you still know like sort of her cause of death, and that was done intentionally, because I don't think that it was necessary to go into detail for this particular story. It was really just like the after effects of everything.
Yeah.
And so I think that people, yeah, they'll be, some people are surprised like how much they actually cried in this book. And I'm surprised too of how many people actually cried, because I actually didn't really intend to set out to make it as emotional as I did, but it just really happened organically. And I'm really proud of the way that it came together too. And I have cried with every single copy that I have read of the book along the way, from like the alpha
Yeah.
stage to the beta stage to like even doing edits at the very end when I have to like go back and read it and everything. I'm like, oh my God, I've read the story like 10 times before, but I'm still crying every time.
Girl, like
Literally.
I could not put on my tinted moisturizer and blush and mascara because I was sobbing. I was like, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, I don't get emotional during books. Laura knows this. It
She
is
doesn't at
sometimes I
all.
think I'm broken. Like that
Yeah.
I'm like,
She's
do I
well
need to get
inside.
checked?
Not
Because
really.
like I have feelings. I know. I do cry. But it's just like you, and I will say this, you handled like the grief so like tastefully, because again,
Mhm.
like you didn't go into details how his wife died, but like you piece it together. And I'm just there like thinking, I'm like, I can't even imagine being like losing the love of your life and then having to care for this little swaddle of joy, and like having to plaster a face because it's like the day you were born, it then results into like losing who is my everything. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
and then like coming to know that, like, I mean, he wanted kids, but he didn't want them like right now. And I think
Mhm.
that was like, ooh, I was like, this poor man. I was like, this poor man having to deal with this, I gut wrenched.
And it's
Gut
handled
wrenched.
so
It's
well.
handled
It's
so
beautifully. Like there's no words to explain
no.
how well this is written. And like we're literally talking about this, but like I've read this book, I don't know, 6, 7 times at this point.
Yeah.
I cry all the times. I know what's coming and I still cry. Like, girl, this should tell you everything, okay?
For
Yeah, yeah, you, Laura, were my alpha reader and one of them. And yeah, so you've really seen like the story like evolve, like so many different
Mhm.
versions of it. And yeah. I think too
It's
that people
crazy.
like even just they'll be surprised emotionally of like the relationship between Claire and B,
yes.
that people
Beautiful.
have been remarking on that. And I really um because she's not the nanny, right? Like she's not this
No.
motherly kind of role. She's the doctor at the summer camp,
Yeah.
and she happens to be like family friends, with like Asher's family and stuff like that. But they never really met because they don't live near each other. And so she doesn't know B coming into the story, but B takes an instant liking to her because, Claire and Ezra are so close, and Ezra is about to be like her uncle, and B loves Ezra so much. And so it's like she automatically kind of trusts Claire as a safe person. And yeah, I love their relationship
Yeah,
together.
I feel like
Yeah.
I mean, not Claire, B like knew, like, cause you know how like children are very like instinctive? Like,
Hmm.
she just like knew, like, my daddy needed her. And
Yeah.
so, like, that was like one of those things that I was just like, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially like, oh, because she's my daddy's girlfriend. And Claire was like, what? Like,
We're like, Where did you get that idea?"
where did you get that idea from? It's kind of like one of those things that it's just like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I just like, I
Hmm.
loved how you wrote their dynamic. Like, it was so easy. Like, when they play beauty salon, just so like she can get her to like wash her hair. And like, I felt like it's like Claire, like, obviously she's not a mom, but like her, like, motherly instinct when it's
Kicked in.
around B kicked in. You know what I
Yeah. And
mean?
I think that really stems from the fact that she, as a physician, she really enjoys taking care of infants and kids and mothers, and postpartum mothers. And like, that's her passion
Yeah.
is treating that demographic. And so she's just like, already sort of like naturally nurturing. Yeah. And I love when they play beauty salon together. It's like that was
So
one of my
cute.
favorite scenes to write, where it's just that too is kind of like pulled from my own experience of being a mother, where it's like Asher can't get his kid to wash her hair. Like, so relatable to mothers to be like, I can't get my kid to wash their hair, and you're fighting with them to just, you know, bathe. And Claire's like, I have an idea. And she like
Beauty
makes it so
salon.
fun.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, let's play beauty salon. And she like pretends to wash her hair and puts like
It's so
cucumber
cute.
slices on her at like, at the sink, and does it like all big and fun. And it's like when you're a parent, like it's so hard to like find that energy to do that, because you're like, come on, kid, I just want you to like bathe and eat dinner and go to bed. And so I can have like my time to myself. And Claire's like, I've got the energy to do this. Like, I'm not a parent. She's not coming in with all this extra baggage.
Yeah.
And so she's like, she makes it fun, and then I love to then when Asher is not doing it right, Claire's like, you're not, or B says, you're not doing it like Claire does. So, and he's like,
It's
what am I supposed to do? I just thought that was just so relatable to my own life of like, that's not how dad does it, or that's not how mom does it, especially like my son has really long hair and it's curly.
yeah.
And my husband cannot brush his hair because he's like, that's not how mom does it, It's like,
That's
I
so
mean, I
cute.
think your dad's doing it just how I do it, but okay,
Yeah, he just
I'll
wants
brush your hair.
mom's touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
How adorable. Okay.
It's gonna be
What was
okay.
your favorite part of writing this book?
Probably writing the end, because this book took so much longer to write than I thought it was going to. There were so many fits and starts to this book. It was like I basically started writing it like right before the show came out, and I was really into it. And Laura, as you know, like I was because you were getting right when I would write it, you would get it basically the next day or the day after of whatever I had written in like 1 to 2
Mhm.
chapters at a time. And then you would read it. And then there was like a long period of time where there was like nothing, because my husband got unexpectedly deployed last summer. And so I was just solo parenting. I had a kid starting high school, and I was like, I can't write, And so I like missed my deadline with my editor. I really had to pivot. So there was just, yeah, this book took so much longer to write than I thought. And when you write, and then take a long break, you have to like go back and reread what you wrote and familiarize yourself with stuff. And then I'm like, do I even still like that anymore? Do I kind of want to change this? There was a lot of changing of how the story was going to start in the beginning and like why Claire would be staying with Asher because I wanted that forced proximity.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I would write something and I'm like, I would find my own plot hole of like, well, that doesn't make sense for why she would stay there because she could just do this other thing instead. And so then back to the drawing board and like
Of
write it again.
course.
So I think when I finally finished writing this book, I was like, oh my God, I did it. Finally, it's done.
I can only imagine, like,
Dude.
like the different drafts and stuff. I would love to see that process. But
At the end, I think we were just like, we wanted just like to pop champagne or something. Like, it's done.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Finally.
Oh, no,
a
but it
labor
turned
of
out so
love.
good.
It's
Literally.
amazing. It's literally amazing. But
Beautiful.
for the listeners, what can you tell us about your main characters, Asher and Claire?
Yeah. So Asher, well, I should say for anyone who hasn't read For the Plot or For the Show, you don't actually have to read those in order to read For the Win. I never read interconnected standalones in the order in which you're supposed to. I'm a little chaotic like that. I always go for the one that like just like screams at me the most. But I do think that if you read from the beginning, you do get the best experience. And so
Mhm.
Asher is Millie's older brother for the show. And he's a single dad and he runs a family summer camp with his in-laws. So his wife that had passed away, he still runs this camp with them. And Claire is Cam from For the Plot. It's his little sister, and she's a family physician. She's an osteopathic physician, so a DO. And she is working in New York City, and Asher's in upstate New York, and he needs a camp doctor for the summer. And she has just gone through a really shitty experience at her job, and she's like, well, I have some time off. I guess I can kind of help him out. And so that's how the two of them connect. And Claire's just like this really kind of, she's laid back in some regards. Like she presents as laid back, but she loves a plan. And like she has a hard time with like going off of what her plan is. She's like, I'm only going to work with you just for the summer until I find a new job, you find a new camp doctor, like I'm going back to my life. And so she has a hard time when obviously that gets thrown off the tracks. And she has a hard time letting go of like this vision that she saw for herself all along. And Asher's just like this dorky kind of dad, but he's also like a dirty talking cinnamon roll. And yeah, he's like dad by day and then like daddy by night.
Yeah, best way to describe him because
I
it's
was
just like,
thinking that.
because he's just like so put together, but the things that come out of his mouth,
Yeah.
girl, I'm like,
But
girl,
Claire cannot call him daddy because she's like,
no,
I can't call you that. She's like, that's what Millie calls Asher. And then she calls Ezra. And then she realizes that like Asher and Millie are brother and sister. And she's like, oops, didn't mean to tell you that.
yeah, honestly,
Oh my God.
it's just, he's the greatest. Like, I mean, I love all of your MMCs. Like, it's very hard to pick. Like, I can't pick a favorite because they're all just so like differently like written. You know what I mean? But Asher,
I'm glad you feel that way.
yeah, but like Asher's like fresh in my brain though, and it's just, whew.
I'm gonna go with white shoes because I love me white shoes.
Why?
I would never choose. Please don't make me
Yeah,
ever
don't
choose
make me
because I
choose.
can't. No, every single one of them is just like perfect in my own eyes. But what would you say makes Asher in this story stand out the most, at least?
I think that because he's like so real and relatable, I honestly think he's probably the most realistic character that I've written. Like he feels really true to just a regular dude. Like, and his situation is so real too. And so yeah, I think that's probably what makes him stand out.
Other than his beautiful heart.
Yeah.
He has so much love to give. I just feel like he just like needed like I mean he has people that love him around him, but he was just like waiting for like his next love. And I get it. Like it has to be
Mhm.
so hard like losing your partner in a traumatic way that he did and then being a single dad and then be like, do I get into this? Do I not get into this? I'm happy that he has like his grief group, like the grief guys. You know, because I loved that whole like those chapters where like he spent with them and then how they like embrace Claire and he was like Claire and I was like, yes, King, you're Claire. He's yours. And like, you know, it's kind of like I also like that like they both know that they like each other. You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
just like I don't know, it just felt like it just like fell into place like so easily. Like you wrote like they're like
Mhm.
how do I say this? Like they're coming together like so easy. Like it wasn't like
Smoothly,
there we go.
beautiful,
Smoothly is
so
the
smooth.
word.
Yeah.
And even just like there are like moments where like, you know, B wants to come home from Mimi and Papa's house. I think those are
Okay,
the
don't spoil it.
Mhm.
no, but that's all I have to say is that like
But
I said Millie, I said B wanted to come home. Sorry.
yeah, we
And
understood. Don't worry.
and
In
that
my head,
whole
I knew I heard
yeah.
I heard B.
Okay. I don't know if I said I was thinking Millie, but I said B. But that whole scene was just that touched my heart so much
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because she's like, I got this. You stay here with your guys. Like, I got this. Just make me some coffee. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's when I
Yeah.
started
Yeah,
crying.
it's not really a spoiler. Like she's staying in the city with Asher's parents and she gets homesick cuz she's been there for like almost a week, which is the longest she's been away from Asher. And that's a big deal for Asher too because he like his guys come to visit him every single summer and he always has his daughter with him and this year he's like, "Okay, I think I feel ready to have a little bit more time. Like, mom and dad, you can take her for a week." And they're like, what? Like this, and I think that's relatable. I know a lot of parents who like will not leave their kids for more than a day. Yeah, they won't
Her.
have babysitters, they won't go on vacation, stuff. And then when that happens, it's like, yeah, it's a big deal. And so B gets a little homesick and had some wine at dinner, which is why he couldn't go and drive and pick her up. And his folks don't drive at night because they're
Yeah.
getting older. So Claire's like, I'll go, and well, B was asking, like, is Claire there? And wanted her. And Claire's like, I've got this. Like, let me do this for you. And
Yes.
Asher's not used to that. Like, he's got his parents and he's got Daisy's parents, but he's never let another woman that wasn't related to him
Yeah.
help him out in that regard. And so that was like a really big growing point for him.
I agree. Because, like, when I was reading that, I was like, is he going to say no? Like, I was waiting for, like, the pushback. You know what I mean?
Well, he
No, but
also
I
had
feel
to have
like
like his guys kind of push him too. Like they were
Mhm.
they were like death giving death stares at him of like, what's the problem here? Like
Yeah.
let her help you. And it really took them kind of calling him out for his bullshit, which he wasn't doing on purpose. Obviously, he's masked by this grief and having a hard time kind of seeing the big picture and the guys are like, what are you doing, man? Like, and I don't want to give any spoilers about their role in getting them together and stuff, but yeah, I liked the bromance.
Agreed.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. Honestly, like, I don't know.
We have no words at this point. We could be raving about this. I even talked to my therapist about your book today because I was like, you need to
What?
read this. Yeah, I always talk about books with her because
I
she's
love
a
that.
reader too. She's a reader too. And I'm like, you need to read this. And she's like, it's on
definitely.
my TV. And I'm like, you need to read this like now
That's
Definitely.
so
amazing.
we can discuss it.
Definitely. I do
Dude,
want to
yeah.
ask, like, who's your favorite MMC and FMC that you've written in like the whole series?
Oh gosh. Okay, I loved writing Millie because she was so much fun to write. Like she just was willing to be like the life of the party. Like I felt like she would just say whatever's on her mind and have no hangups about it. She's pretty blunt. I really liked writing her. And but I also really liked writing B too. I loved writing her like really true to a 5-year-old. And I love that the early feedback I got was that I wrote her so well
Hmm.
because they try and include her in some like adult situations, but she's also like, she has the attention span, obviously, of a 5-year-old, and she doesn't really
Yeah.
understand like conception of time and like how long things have
Hmm.
passed and whatnot. You don't really understand that until you're like age 8. And so she's just sort of like, she'll be like, okay, I've listened long enough. And then she'll be like, can we get a bunny? Can I have my ears pierced? Like, can we go for a milkshake? Like,
She's
she's like,
so
enough
cute.
with this conversation. They're like, no, but do you understand? And she's like, yeah, got it. Can we go get milkshakes now? And so I really did enjoy
Just the
writing her as
cutest.
well. Yeah, even though she's not an FMC. But and then okay, so MMC, oh, that's so hard. I don't
They're
know.
so
Don't make
good.
me choose.
They're all so good. I know. I'm sorry.
I think maybe there's something special about writing Cam, like him being my first boy. Like there's just maybe it's just something about a mom and her boy, like that relationship. But like, yeah, that's how I look at him is
Adorable.
like, yeah.
How cute.
I
I'm trying
know.
not to cry right now.
No, hold
This
it
is
in,
all
girl.
very emotional.
Hold it in. Literally.
My goodness. What can you tell us about the next book in the series?
Ooh, well, do you want to guess?
I mean, I already know, but
Yeah, you already know.
I
I
know.
don't. I
Carmen, can you?
tried
No, I'm not
figuring it
telling you
out.
anything. I'm not telling you anything. I've been so good, okay? Because I
You have kept
read
my
For the
secrets for
Win
so
months
long.
ago, and I
Yeah,
kept telling her her next book is the best one. I'm in love with the next book. And she's like, tell me everything. And I'm like, nothing. You get nothing.
I know. And trust
A
me,
block for the
she's like a vault. She's not gonna say anything.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just excited here. But what can you tell us and the listener?
Yeah, there was okay, so there's only ever going to be 3 books in the All for Love series. Like when I had planned it from the beginning, there were 3 couples and that was it. And in my sparkly brain, I'm like, I don't like the number 3. It needs to be even. It needs to be like 4 books. And so I'm like, but I don't really have like a 4th couple. And I've already sort of started writing the series. Like, do I just invent this new couple? Like, do we meet them in the 3rd book? Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until maybe Laura, did this happen in our group chat maybe
Yeah.
of like, somebody saying like, is Kane gonna get his own book? Like I think
Yeah.
is after when I was writing for the show, there was a part where they're flying back to Hawaii and they have Kane,
Hmm.
which is Ezra's younger half brother, and they're flying and he sits next to a pro surfer on the airplane.
Yeah.
And it was like I wasn't even in control of writing that scene. It felt like they had their like meet cute in my brain. Like it had already existed. And which was, it sounds so silly and kind of wild to describe, but it was like, I just was typing it. I was like following along what they were doing. And I was like, okay, I think it's going to be Kate. Like he's the 4th book, and by this time he gets to like age up. So he's not underage or anything in this series, or in his book. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, no official announcements have been made about it, but I am
Mhm.
working on plotting that one, and it will be fun. And I think, and Kane's like, opposite of him, the pro surfer. is kind of a little bit of an asshole. So he'll be a different type of character to write.
I'm excited.
Ooh,
I just need it now.
wait, and this is gonna be like your first like romance.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I
I know.
love
I'm
this.
excited.
I love this so much. Okay, so we always end our author segments doing like a quick fire like question. So I'm gonna ask, what is your favorite trope to write?
A forced proximity, specifically one bed.
Yes. What about to
Yes.
read though?
Same answer.
First proximity is
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, but I stand by like write what you want to read. Like then you
Mhm.
will enjoy the process. Like if I am writing something just because I think it's going to be popular and it's what everybody else is writing, but I'm miserable doing it, like who's going to want to read a book where the author was miserable writing it the whole time? Like that will come
100%.
across on page. And so
Yeah.
that's why I write beach reads because like we said at the beginning, like
That's what you love.
what I like to read, you know? And
Yeah.
so yeah, I like reading Forced Proximity, specifically One Bed. It never gets old for me. It's always done sort of different because every author has their own little twist to it. Um, and so then I like writing it.
Okay, slow burn or instant chemistry?
I would say it depends on my mood. Like, there are times where I'm like, I need them to have that instant attraction. Like, it needs to hook me in right away.
Yeah.
And there are other times where the slow burn will actually hook me in right away too, because it's really stringing me along. And yeah, okay, I can't choose between the two because I'm such a mood reader. It's like whatever I'm in the mood for.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I kind of know this, but Morally Gray or Golden Retriever MMC?
Yeah, I would say, well, definitely to write Golden Retriever, but I do like to occasionally read Morally Gray.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Oh.
do. Sometimes I'm just like,
Ooh.
to me, that's almost like a palate cleanser because, and usually it's like people use it the other way. Like they'll read the rom com as a palate cleanser for their Morally Gray. But in some ways, it's the opposite of me, where it's like, okay, I've been reading so many romantic comedies or whatever that I'm like, okay, I need something a little bit darker this time
I
to
love
break
that.
it up.
Agreed. You really need to, do something different. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In one sentence to describe, like, use one sentence to describe For the Win, no spoilers.
Okay, let's go back to Dirty Dancing vibes and mustache rides.
Beautiful.
All you
Oh
need to
my
know,
God.
right? Wrapped up into that.
Literally.
That is the.
And what would you say if the book had like a vibe, a playlist, or a song? What would it sound like?
So it does have a playlist.
Mhm.
You can find that on Spotify, probably just by typing in For the Win, maybe adding my last name, Katie Van Brunt. And it's also like in the front of the book. There's a lot of Olivia Dean on that playlist. Like actually, I
love
probably
her.
had to eliminate a lot of her songs because I'm like, that's kind of a lot. That might be her entire album on the playlist. Yeah, I think it's just like, it's laid back but sexy. Like that's her music. And I felt like that was the book too. It's like
Yeah.
laid back, having fun at summer camp, but also make it sexy.
Yeah.
I love Olivia Dean. Like, she just makes the best music.
I know. It's so good.
It's so, so good. So, so good. But anyways, this was such a treat. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
answering all of our questions and coming on here and just, I don't know,
No
talking
words.
to us. I have no, yeah, exactly. I have no words.
No
And
words.
like just coming on here and like talking to us about For the Win. And I just can't wait for people to read it.
Yeah.
It's easily one of my favorite books. Like,
Thank you. That means a lot to me. This was really fun.
yes, come back anytime.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you so much for everyone for listening to our interview with Katie Van Brunt. Until next time, bye.
Bye.